Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Thomas Nardinelli's show. My name is Nisa Hayden, and I'm one of the co-curators here along with Cynthia Liu and owner Matt Haynes, and we are really delighted to have you here and also here for the talk because Tom has a lot to say about this beautiful, beautiful work, and we're just so delighted to have it. We are so delighted to have your work here and you.
Thank you.
So take it away. Thank you.
This is weird, sorry. Thank you for coming, everybody. And some of you were here last week, too, so thanks for coming again. So I'll start kind of back to the beginning of when I really seriously got involved in doing artwork. And that was 1970 at Sacramento State in their art department. And I owe a lot to the teachers that I had at that time. My first painting teacher was... No, I was really blessed because I had Joan Brown as my first painting teacher. And she was, my teachers back then, they were in their 30s. I wish I was in my 30s. And they were all very young faculty, but most of them were all exhibiting artists, which was pretty cool. And Joan was the one that actually taught me how to paint. And I don't paint anything like the way she taught me at the time. She showed me how to mix oil paint. And she taught me the way she painted when she first started painting. And it was a different time period. Paint was really cheap then. And she showed me how to mix turpentine and linseed all together and then blend that in with my paint so it would become really creamy looking. She wanted me to paint really thick. And as a student, you'd go to the store and you'd buy pre-made canvases. You didn't make your own. And she just started slopping paint on a canvas of mine and said, here, paint like this. Okay. But then she said, you know what? You need bigger paintbrushes. Because she wanted me to paint really thick. It was like painting by the pound. So she taught me how to do that. And during that semester, I kept evolving and I kept painting thinner and thinner and thinner. I kind of was just self-directed. And I was learning how to blend by myself, which she taught me how to paint. You didn't draw anything on a canvas. You just started painting. You look at something like a still life, or we did a self-portrait. You look in the mirror, and you just start painting it on the canvas. You weren't allowed to draw it out first. Well, that was the first semester. And then the next semester, I thought I'd take Joseph Raphael for painting. And he was the opposite end of the spectrum. And he painted really thin and used a medium at the time called wind gel, which was made by Winsor Newton, which is no longer on the market. You can't buy it anymore. And he taught me how to paint thin. In fact, one day I was working on a 4x4 canvas of this painting of a face of an African, a male African.
If you'd like some more,
and
I
was painting it, and I was sitting down, which he didn't like me to do. So he said, give me your paintbrush. I'm okay. And he said, stand up. So I stood up, and he took my paintbrush, and he says, here, watch me. So he took the paints, and he was taking the medium I was using, and he says, watch. And he started painting. It was more like watercolor looking. And I was, okay. And then he was done, and he looks at me and goes, get it? And I go, yeah. And he walks away, and I just went back, painted the way I was painting before. That didn't go well. And he just kind of went, he just resigned himself. That's the way I was going to paint. So I did that, and I did that through grad school. And I got my bachelor's and my master's at Sac State. And most of the encouragement was about painting larger scale, bigger paintings. You paint 4x4 and they go, okay, that's nice, paint bigger. So that I go about 4x5. Oh, that's really nice, but paint bigger. And I knew I could only fit certain size canvases in my car at the time and to transport paintings around. So it evolved into that. And then I stopped painting. I got my master's degree in 1973. And then I went into education and I just stopped painting for a while. So around the early 80s, about 5 years later, I started painting again, and I found a really good medium made by Winsor Newton called Liquin, and that's what allowed me to be able to paint real thin, and I layer colors, and I use only pure pigment colors, so they're very transparent. They're expensive, so they just work well. It's almost like watercoloring the way I oil paint. And I started doing watercolors for a while, and that really helped me loosen up. and just make my paints flow a lot better on the canvas. So that's where I am today. Presently I'm painting, but they don't look like these. So if you go on my website, I have a website, tomnardinelli.com, and you can look at my newer paintings. And I'm still evolving, I'm still changing, I'm still playing with paint. I keep trying different things. I do use a projector when I paint. When I first started painting, I used to grid canvases off. I always thought just using a projector was like cheating. And then Joseph Raphael told me, no, it's okay, do it. So I do that now. And when I first started, I was using photographs out of magazines. Now I work for my own photographs. And back in the day, you used to use, it was called an opaque projector. You could put an image inside and project it on a canvas. Yeah. So now what I do, everything's digital now. So I have a digital camera. I use my cell phone to take pictures, and I put them on my projector. And when I project them on the canvas, I'm drawing these out. Sometimes they take 8 hours to draw out or longer, and I'm drawing these shapes. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just start drawing all these weird shapes that I see, and then I stand back and I go, whoa. So when I start painting, I go like, I don't get it. So I start in an area, and I start painting an area, and I go, okay, I think I'm done there, and start painting, and then paint day to day to day to day. And paintings like some of these in here take, most of them minimum 2 months. A lot of them take 3+ months to complete, depending upon how detailed I get into them. So I think that's about it. Questions?
I have a question, Tom.
Yes, Amanda. Is that your name, by the way?
My name's Amanda.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Okay, so I work at UCB Business Medical Center, and they started an art gallery a few years ago, and your paintings have always been my inspiration. You were my teacher growing up, and one of my favorite drawings I've ever done was when you said we had an assignment to draw, but we couldn't be like the literal colors of the image. They had to be sort of, how do I want to say, like looking at lights and darks and not looking at an image. And it was one of my favorite pictures I've ever made. But so I'm trying to I want to do an oil painting for the art gallery for the hospital. My goal. So you mentioned liquid. So that's I just want to get I'm trying to order my paint. We have liquid, Mom? Okay.
Yeah.
What else do I need? Liquid? Okay.
I'll give you a list.
Well, I guess I'm going to finish off by saying you are our inspiration, and thank you for teaching me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, Liquid is a really cool product. It's like when you use water with watercolors. I use Liquid with oil paints. And that's one thing that Joseph Raphael did to me one day, too. He said, you're using the wrong paints. He says, I'm going to write out I took a paper towel, and he wrote out a list of all these colors that he thought I should use. And I went and bought them, and this is like in the early 70s, a tube, one of my favorite colors that I use sparingly. I call it gold. It's called Rose Doré, and this is how prices have evolved over the years and gone just berserko. A tube of paint this big sold for $3.75, which at that time was, it was probably one of the more expensive colors. Same tube right now sells for $65. So when I use paint, I try to stretch them as far as I can. So, but lately, Liquid's been a real cool thing. They stopped making wind gel. I went to go buy some one time. They stopped making it. Over the years, I've seen colors they don't make anymore. So.
What's the next show topic?
I'm doing faces again. So I like doing faces, big heads.
Big.
So, probably like that size right there. That's 5 foot by 6 foot. They're 5 foot by 5 foot, most of them. So they're bigger than these, but that's, a little bit smaller than that. Yeah. This is my wife, Mary Ragusa, and she always says, "Where are we going to put these?" So, Yes, Stephen.
Transitioning from mere replication to interpretation
Yes.
is a major theme of the American romantic landscape movement.
Ah,
Consider yourself part of that tradition.
sure. No. No. I just what happens is when, like I said, when I project images on the canvas and I draw, it's really weird. It's like it becomes a whole different world. There are all these weird shapes that when I look at the photograph I'm working from, they don't show on the photograph like they do on the canvas. So it just allows me to kind of reinterpret what I see, and I can use my own colors. I don't always stay true to the colors I'm looking at from a photograph. So a lot of artistic license. So, Lane,
So, Mr. Nardinelli, do you have a favorite piece in this series?
in this show,
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like that one in there. I mean,
So regarding that one, since I was your student way back in the day, I get a student discount.
you have to talk to the gallery owners. You're welcome, Lane. I had Lane for 4 years as a student at Lodi High. So, and he owns his own graphic design company business. Yeah, one in Stockton and one in New York. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't go there.
Yeah, luckily you guys are here tonight. Last week it was even warmer. Really hot. Well, thank you for coming. I appreciate it and looking at my artwork. And I'm going to keep painting, so despite what Mary thinks. Thank you.